welcome from my end also to the APS this year. And I hope you had a nice lunch break, so did I. And today I brought you an interesting topic about how to generate conversions within only 15 seconds. So you all probably know that the internet is flooded with information and the attention span of the user is like extremely low. And even if you watch like an ad or so, you also tend to forget what you just saw. And basically for us, for example, as a marketing agency, mobile marketing agency, it is very important to create some sort of an ad that creates that moment of a thumb stopper. So it does behave like differently if it's, for example, like a static image ad. But for video ads, you definitely you're not aiming only for the thumb stopper moment. You're also like aiming for the user watching the whole video to be exploited to all the USPs. So the question is that possible within 15 seconds? I brought another question with me today, which is, do you want to increase also your app user growth while decreasing your production cost of the ads by 95%? I'm pretty sure you're all going to answer this question with a yes. Who doesn't? And yeah, here is how we actually helped our client Frank to increase their app installs. And in the end, we've actually also been awarded by TikTok as a best practice in the mobile category. So before I kick off with my presentation or with the content in general, a few words about myself. So I'm Sini, a paid media specialist at Customlytics. And Customlytics basically, the company I'm working at is a mobile marketing consultancy and agency with offices not only here in Berlin, but also in Poznan, so in Poland. But yeah, we also do have like colleagues working from other parts of Germany or from other European countries. So it's, remote work is nice. In our offerings, we include like the consultancy and also support for mobile app strategy. Obviously, we manage campaigns, and analytics like super big written for us because we take data-driven decisions, and the technology integration part is also something that we cover. Yeah, here on this snapshot, it's actually like my colleagues at the last APS. As some of them are sitting here as well. So about our partners and also the technologies we're working with on this slide, you're basically exposed to all of those we have close cooperation with, and jumping over to the clients that we're working with or have worked with, probably you will know one or the other app already, but today the focus is on one of our clients, which is Frank. So Frank is basically a super simple mobile phone contract that you can sign in-app, so you do not necessarily have to go to a physical store anymore. You can close the contract just in your app. It's super easy. This is how the app looks like inside. So the UX and UI design is also super easy, just as the brand incorporates this. Basically, the app is already on the market since 2 years. In the beginning, obviously, no one knew about the brand. Right now, we can actually say that around 8% of Germans have heard about it. And in order to celebrate this 2 years anniversary, the company was thinking of a special promotion, not to only increase their app user growth, but also to drive in sales. And for that special promotion, you would not only get the 5 gigabytes, but you get like 2 additional, like 2 for the 2 years anniversary gigabytes on top. Not only that, you can also bring your friends to Frank, and then you and your friend will actually get like 2 extra gigabytes. That's gonna be like a little bit important also for later, so that's why I'm mentioning it. So since this extra gigabytes is probably also then more interesting for the younger generation, because 5 gigabytes, what can you do with 5 gigabytes? Watching a few videos and then you're empty for the rest of the month. So yeah, with the extra gigabytes, we thought that could actually resonate very well with the younger audience. And that's why TikTok, which was actually already included in the channel mix, got a bigger focus, so to say, during the birthday campaign. And for that, we also thought that influencers are a pretty good match, because they have like a wide range of young are exposed to a wide range of young people, and also they can be authentic to convince users to convert. So before I'm going to show you a few of the influencer videos, one important message also that Frank wanted to transmit in the beginning when we were talking about the birthday campaign is they wanted to put one central USB into the focus, which is you basically can sign up like Frank from anywhere. It is really that easy. So you could just take out your phone and here at the Adlon Hotel sign up for Frank within a few minutes basically. And yeah, that is like the center message that connects all the different influencer videos. And so I'm gonna show you in a bit the video, but a little disclaimer, unfortunately it's in German. So basically this influencer is Bobby. He is a singer and he's in his studio, and he's not really singing, but let's see what he's doing, and his producer in the opposite of him.
Digga, warum hörst du auf zu singen? Das war mega.
Sorry, es gibt ein neues Angebot.
Wie ein neues Angebot? Was von wem? Sag mir jetzt nicht, du unterschreibst doch einen Major Deal.
Nein, Quatsch. Von Frank.
Who the fuck is Frank?
Hä? Hast du noch nie was von Frank gehört? Mobilfunk per App, mega unkompliziert.
Ja, und muss das jetzt sein?
Ja, warte doch kurz, das geht mega schnell. Die haben jetzt ein Angebot, mit dem Code FRANK2 gibt's nämlich anstatt 5 GB 7 GB. So, ich bin fertig, wir können weitermachen, sorry. Let's go. Hallo? Bist du noch da?
Yeah, so in the end, the producer actually signed up for Frank as well, because it's fairly easy. What we realized, like this video now is 15 seconds long, and we dived into the performance of that video, and we saw, okay, somehow quite a few users are dropping out within the first seconds already, even though the influencer is a cool guy and has quite a big range of reach, so to say, and people might know him already on TikTok, but somehow still users were dropping out. So we analyzed like the data a little bit more, and also realized, okay, mentioning the code like in the middle of a 50 seconds video, when probably most users are already dropping out within the first seconds, not so sure if that's like so recommended. So let's keep that in mind. We have another influencer video that is basically expanding like the idea of, Frank, you can sign up from anywhere. In this scenario, the DJ Nicolas, he is DJing, and you can guess what he's doing.
Challenge. Ein Handytarif beim Auflegen abschließen. Was ihr in dem Ausschnitt gesehen habt, war der Handytarif von meinem Kooperationspartner Frank. Den Tarif kann man super leicht per Handy abschließen, einfach PayPal verbinden und loslegen. Gönnt euch jetzt noch bis 30.06. 7 GB anstatt 5 GB Datenvolumen. Los geht's.
Oh, that was a little bit loud. But yeah, that was basically like a similar pattern to the first one. I mean, in the birthday campaign, it was mostly about the code, right? And here in this video, again, the code was mentioned somewhere between the middle and the end. So most users were, again, dropping out pretty early in the video already. And also here, the influencer didn't name the USP, all the necessary USPs. So let's have a look how the third influencer is doing it. So the third influencer is Trixie. She's a model, has also a wide range of users who are following her, and basically she's receiving a bill and she's saying, wow, how can it be that it's so expensive again?
Alle Rechnungen bekommen, verstehe nicht, wie Telefonieren einfach immer noch so teuer sein kann. Check mal Frank aus. Für 10 € bekommt ihr 5 GB LTE im besten D-Netz, SMS und Telefonflat und ihr könnt per PayPal bezahlen. Und ist natürlich auch monatlich kündbar. Ich habe auch einen Code für euch. Und zwar mit Frank 2 bekommt ihr 7 GB bis zum 30.06.
And also here, similar pattern in the data that we analyzed. Most users were dropping out pretty early, and the code here again was mentioned pretty late, even though more USPs are mentioned. But Trixie is not even talking to the camera, so you're not feeling 100% addressed. And that was also probably what can be optimized. All in all, we can also say that generally speaking with working with influencers, it is super time consuming, like talking to the management, having feedback loops. And then you're also like having buyout rights, mostly like for 3 months or so. And then you want to optimize. How is that possible? So in the end, we were lucky, since Frank has like an in-house student who also created like user-generated content for us. So in that case, we summed up like all the learnings that we generated from the influencer videos and said, you know what, we're going to drop this campaign idea of Frank can be signed up from anywhere. Let's focus on the USPs and test that out. And the first iteration is therefore less storytelling. It is more precise and just like very compact, mentioning quickly the USPs. And also, Ayub is the guy in the video, the working student. He's wearing like a yellow beanie. It's exactly like the color of Frank. So that's already increasing the brand awareness, which is also really recommended to do. And if you remember the influencer, they had like nothing yellow actually shown in the video. So let's have a look.
Frank hat Geburtstag! Und weil wir 2 Jahre alt werden, gibt es nur bis zum 30.06. mit dem Code hier, Frank2, 7 GB Datenvolumen für nur 10 € im Monat und das im besten D-Netz. Und wenn ihr jetzt noch Frank euren Freunden empfehlt, dann bekommt ihr für jeden Freund auch nochmal 2 GB Datenvolumen dauerhaft obendrauf für dich und deinen Freund. Also worauf wartet ihr? Benutzt diesen Code hier und schließt Frank ganz einfach und ohne Papierkram direkt über unsere App ab.
I don't know if you noticed, but the promotion code is shown like way longer also in the video. So it's not just a fraction of a second. You can actually remember after watching the video also. And then here we also incorporate like the deadline of the promotion to create like some sort of sense of urgency, and the most important USPs are mentioned. Added, he also was talking about this Frank for Friends mechanism, so you can get your friends to Frank to get extra gigabytes. And that is definitely also on TikTok, since it's a closed community. It's nice to bring your friends to something and grow in a project, so to say. So that is like the first iteration that we had. We thought, okay, we saw like in the data that users are watching the video for a little bit longer, but it was not enough for us. In the beginning of the last video that I've just showed you, Ayub was like talking about Frank has birthday. But if you remember in the beginning, I said like 8% of all Germans have heard of it. So most people, 92% in that case, would say, who is Frank? So that is actually an information which is most likely not relevant for performance. So we decided in the new iteration, we want to cut that out and focus more on the USPs then. So what we did also is to incorporate the code for a longer period now in the new iteration. And also the deadline seems to work pretty well, because we saw like in the performance data that installs as well as orders were increased. And the last point that I also would like to mention is that, we used actually a learning that we generated from another network. Normally, we're pretty hesitant to just use like the learnings from other networks because every network is working differently because the target audience is different, right? And in that case, we thought, though permanent, so dauerhaft is like the German translation for permanent, permanently getting 2 extra gigabytes. That's a valuable information for the user, basically. And that's why we decided to also incorporate like a learning from another network into this iteration now. And let's have a look.
Jeden Monat mit 7 GB surfen und das für nur 10 Euro? Benutzt dafür einfach bei eurer Bestellung in der Frank-App den Code FRANK2 und genießt unseren Geburtstag mit uns. Und wer Freunde wirbt, der schenkt sich und seinen Freunden auch nochmal 2 GB Datenvolumen dauerhaft extra. Also worauf wartet ihr? Jetzt Frank abschließen.
Also in the end, worauf wartet ihr jetzt? Frank abschließen means like, now it's the time to get your contract at Frank. So a call to action is always helpful, especially in the end. So this video now is actually 15 seconds long. And all in all, we can say that within a few iterations from the influencer video to the latest iteration of Ayub, we increased the conversion rate click to installs by 31%. Not only that, we also increased like the click rate by 44% and decreased the CPI, like the cost per install, by 71%. So to answer one of the questions I had in the beginning, decreasing your production cost by 95%, is that possible? If you also want to have like more installs, just try out user-generated content. Maybe that could also work for you. For us, it worked because we used like the in-house student intern, and basically we turned him into a little micro-influencer. So summing up now all the points, and also to answer my initial question, how to generate conversions within 15 seconds. So 3 points. First of all, is influencer marketing needed, especially like in the performance part? So we realized that working together with the management of influencers is always really time consuming. It's expensive, and in the end, honestly, we didn't receive like all the influencer videos on time. So in the end, we couldn't have like so many iterations, and we had to go live with a campaign. So that is also like a huge blocker because it's just like so slow mostly. And you really have to talk or ask frequently about, where's the video now? Is it done now? In the end, it is just way easier if you are able to work with working students, for example, and turn them into little micro-influencers. Second point is that if you have important key information to transmit to the user, don't put them or place them in the end of the video, because mostly users won't get exploited to them then, because the dropout rate is pretty high of videos, and you want to catch the valuable users, so to say. And especially if you have like promotions, also the promotions, name it not just only for a fraction of a second, but keep it in the video, maybe test that out if it works for you. And lastly, about the video length. So for high performant videos, we would normally say like around 10 to 20 seconds would be optimal, but it really depends on what product you're promoting, which vertical it is, and how difficult or easy it is to explain your product. So in our case, 15 seconds was perfectly fine. So what's next? TikTok is actually like a channel also that is very keen on testing, so to say. They usually come up like with new features, and in our case, during the birthday campaign, like the interactive stickers that they had as a new feature was being introduced. And we were able to make use of that. So we tried out the promotion voucher codes that you can see on the right side. And that sticker basically has like a button where you can click on it, get the code, and the code is remembered or copied, so to say. And in the other version, on the left side, it's like the version that you've seen, where the code is basically just written in text form. We did an A/B testing on that, actually, and turned out that the performance didn't really differ from each other when it comes to CPI and CPO. In our case, that was important to have a look at. But looking into the video view rates, we saw that in the version with the sticker, users tend to drop out earlier. So one thing that probably TikTok can optimize is the code has to, like, we didn't have any other chance. The sticker was basically implemented from the beginning of the video until the end. So we didn't have a chance to actually display it from any point where we wanted to, which means users could think like, another ad next. So in our case, it really didn't make such a difference when it comes to cost per install and cost per order. But honestly, with every new video, I would test it out. It does differ from each other. Sometimes it does work and sometimes it doesn't. So you have to test it out yourself. And that actually concludes already my presentation of today. And I hope you all know now how to generate conversions within 15 seconds.